ghost story to send shivers down your spine. The Whispering Woods. In a small, isolated village nestled deep within the mountains, there was a dense forest known as the Whispering Woods. The villagers spoke in hushed tones about the forest, warning outsiders never to enter after dark. The trees stood tall and silent by day, but as soon as dusk fell, eerie whispers filled the air, carried by the wind. No one knew where they came from, but everyone knew who they belonged to, the spirits of the lost. Long ago, the village was home to a young woman named Ilara. She was beautiful, with dark hair that fell like a waterfall down her back and eyes as deep as the night. She was kind and gentle, beloved by all who knew her. But her heart belonged to a traveler who came through the village one fateful autumn. He was a mysterious man, with eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the world. They fell in love quickly, and though the villagers warned her against it, Ilara vowed to leave with him when he departed. The night before they were to leave, the traveler vanished without a trace. Distraught, Ilara wandered into the Whispering Woods, searching for him. She never returned. The villagers searched for days, but all they found were her shoes, placed neatly at the base of an ancient oak tree deep within the forest. The tree was old and twisted, its bark blackened as if scorched by fire. No one dared to take a step closer. After Ilara's disappearance, the whispers began. At first, they were soft, barely audible, but over time they grew louder, more insistent. Some said they could hear Ilara's voice among them, calling out for her lost love. Those who ventured into the forest at night never returned, and soon the village was nearly abandoned. One cold, moonless night, a stranger arrived in the village. He was drawn by the stories of the haunted woods, curious about the whispers. Ignoring the warnings of the few remaining villagers, he set out at dusk, determined to uncover the truth. As he walked deeper into the forest, the whispers began. At first, they were distant, like the murmur of leaves in the wind. But soon they grew closer, surrounding him, filling his ears until he could hear nothing else. He could make out words, names, pleas for help, and then he heard her. Ilara. The voice was soft, filled with longing. The stranger called out, asking who she was, where she was. The voice led him deeper, past the old oak tree, to a clearing bathed in an unnatural light. There, in the center, stood a figure. It was a woman, her dark hair flowing around her like a shroud, her eyes two pools of endless black. She was beautiful and terrible, and she beckoned him closer. As he approached, the whispers grew frantic, a cacophony of voices screaming at him to stop, to run. But he couldn't. He was drawn to her, compelled by an unseen force. When he was only a breath away, the woman smiled, a cold, empty smile. She reached out a hand, and as her fingers brushed his skin, a wave of icy cold swept through him. The stranger felt his heart stop, his breath freeze in his lungs. The whispers turned to wails, but it was too late. His vision dimmed, and the last thing he saw was Ilara's face, twisted in sorrow, as she pulled him into the darkness. The next morning, the villagers found his shoes at the base of the old oak tree, neatly placed as if by unseen hands. The whispers grew louder that night, and the village fell silent, the last of its inhabitants fleeing to escape the curse. The forest remains to this day, its secrets lost to time. But on moonless nights, when the wind is still, you can hear the whispers, calling out, searching for the lost, and waiting for the next soul to wander into their grasp.